Hello friends, we're gonna have another tanker adventure today. Let's hit the road. You're always taught to take a walk around before you drive. Not only to calm yourself when you're excited to get to a scene, but also to make sure everything's working. The lights, make sure none of these doors are open. Make sure your tank is as full as it should be. Make sure your electric and air hoses are disconnected. Everything's looking good, so let's pull it out of the station. We're headed down to the one fire hydrant that we actually use on structure fires. Our other two fire hydrants are up at Station 8 where I was at my last video, and they are so slow we don't really use them in actual structure fires. So we're almost there. Here we are where we fill up at our one good hydrant for fighting fires. Our other two hydrants in this area are very slow. They're up at the other fire station where I did my last video. This is the Ward Cove facility over here. This is our old pulp mill that closed in 1997. That's one of our state ferries that's just being used now for housing for seasonal workers. And that is a cruise ship dock that was just built in it was ready in about early 2020. It was built in partnership between the owners of this property now and Norwegian Cruise Lines. There's a couple of other cruise lines that have smaller ships that dock here as well, but we will get thousands and thousands of passengers. This access to this hydrant is a little more difficult now. The owners of the Ward Cove mill site put up those barriers to channel buses through. Now we're not able to make a big turn here to get into the fire hydrant. So now it's quite a bit more awkward. Here we are parked at the fire hydrant site, our main fire hydrant. And today I have tanker 7. This is one of our smaller tankers that has no pumping gear. And this is the one I will usually drive. We have two identical ones, tanker 6 and tanker 7. I'll take either of them usually, whichever one someone else hasn't grabbed. Got to be fast. And so this one is just purely a tender. And we have our gear in here. There is that is the valve for hooking up to the hydrant. And that gets put on there. Have some bolt cutters, wheel chocks. If I was here for longer than a minute, I would put in the wheel chocks. Here's one of our chutes for the water. This will come out about 3 times as far as this. It'll dump water into our drop tanks, which are kind of the small swimming pools that are attached to the side of the tankers. And I'm not going to dump water now. I don't want to have to refill this thing. And here is the hydrant wrench. This goes on the top. There's this one doesn't really have a cover on it. You can open the top of this here, put the wrench on that, and you'd spin it around. That sounds easier than it is. And then that'll completely lift off. That valve attaches here to the front. You also have to wrench that off. And we have the hose that attaches to that's where the hose that attaches to the hydrant. When you have multiple runs and multiple tankers, we'll just leave the hydrant dressed. So this hose will let it drain out downhill, and we'll just leave it here for the tankers that come after us. Probably on a big structure fire, we'll have to do multiple runs. This is where the hose from the hydrant comes in. There's a Stort's valve here, and that opens with these click, which is kind of nice. And then these open the valves that let the water go into the tank. And when the tank's full, not only will these lights come up to green, but the water will come pouring out the bottom. And I have a drop tank on this one, just like on tanker 8. And it opens the same way with these little toggles. So you just down or up. All right, ready to get back on the road? Let's go to Walmart. Sometimes I like to go to Walmart on a Saturday when it's a little bit busy. It's kind of good practice for confined space, traffic, people watching you, which can make me feel a little nervous sometimes, even after all these years. So I kind of like practicing under that kind of pressure. It is starting to rain a little bit today. Probably didn't tell you in the last video, we get an average rainfall of 13 feet a year. We're in the Tongass National Rainforest. Probably did mention that in another video. Last year we got more than 15 feet of rain. So a little sprinkle of rain seems pretty mild to us. That's a nice day. All right, here we go. On the road again. Turn at Walmart, so I've got to pay attention. Go for our obstacle course. Look at all those people. And nobody has their blinker on, so I have no idea what they're doing. There goes one. Ooh, what's the police station doing up here? Prescription drug take back. Uh-oh. Get into a fight with the BMW. He's going to try to fit. Let's see how this goes. Uh-oh. Teenage drivers, they're going to play chicken. Got through the Walmart obstacle course. And now we just have one little challenge of getting around these sharp corners. Actually, I'm going to go over to this coffee stand and say hi to my daughter who's working there. Here's my daughter. She works at this coffee stand. This is Claire.
And I also make food.
And you're making food. And there's the coffee shop where my daughter works on weekends. All right, so we're going down Revilla Road, headed to Ward Lake. Ward Lake is probably our most popular trail here in town. It goes around a beautiful little lake. We have a lot of trails and logging roads and some really big trails here that go up into the mountains. videos, the Connell Lake Trail video. The Connell Lake Trail head is down here. And in the summer, you got to be really careful of bear and deer crossing the road. I knew someone once who was driving down this road, and a black bear literally jumped out in front of her and hit the side of her car so hard it completely caved in her door. I don't think the bear probably enjoyed that. Neither did my friend. We're on the Ward Lake Road. This time of year, this can be very snowy and icy, and kind of would not be driving this truck down here at this time of year most years. It's been kind of a strangely warm winter. Woods here is kind of nice to do search and rescue dog problems. My other favorite thing to do, which I was doing just before I took this drive. The dogs do not like to ride in the fire trucks. I've taken them a few times. I think, being border collies, they have really sensitive ears, and I think they really hate the sound of the air brakes. There's no tours allowed on on this trail, on Ward Lake Trail. So if you're visiting here, you can take a cab out here. You can get pretty close on the bus, but a cab is really your best bet. This is a gorgeous trail. It has tons of old growth trees. I'm gonna do a video on that if you're interested. I like to practice parking here. This is technically a fire lane. It's always fun to practice backing up, and this isn't exactly tight quarters, but it's still pretty fun. All right, just backed into this fire lane. Let's get out and see how good I did. Didn't get too close to this rock. It's how straight it was. Oh, that looks pretty good. The lake looks weird. Let's go see what that is. Oh, that's strange. This is just remnants of the ice from the last cold spell we had. All right, let's get back to the truck before someone drives it away. Heading farther north than the station we need to put this back in, but the reason is we're just hit below 3/4 of a tank of diesel, and the rule is fill it up 3/4 or less. So that's what we're gonna do. I need to make a quick pit stop at my house. This is also good practice for small rural road driving. I didn't eat lunch and I need something to eat. So I'm running in for 1 minute. This is my house on the right. Get this thing turned around. We have a great neighborhood here. We're either friends with or related to everyone here. Gas station ho! All fueled up, time to head back to the station. Pick Jackson up along with a snack at home. He's helping me co-pilot. Off we go, back to Station 6.
Oops.
I did. I caught it before,
Henry, stay away.
One of the important things about the walk around is to make sure that these have automatically ejected. There's a certain volunteer around here that has twice ripped these out because that volunteer was not careful enough in looking at everything on her walk around. Fortunately, full-time guys are patient and they only gave me a little bit of a hard time and they repaired it. Anyway, these are hard to get in. Over here is all of our rehab equipment. This, our rehab unit is really important for any structure fires. Firefighters getting heat stress from working really hard in hot, heavy gear in hot environments that can have some pretty bad health effects if they're not well hydrated and have refreshments and snacks. And this is all the equipment that, there's all the equipment that helps with that. There are tons of snacks. There are cold beverages, hot beverages, there's tea, coffee. There's a couple generators so that there's electricity and lights in there. There also always are a couple of medics in the rehab tent who take their blood pressure. Every year we're required to have our blood pressure taken and our vitals taken. And if you end up in the rehab tent because you've been in a fire, the medics inside, they take your vitals and they compare them to your baseline vitals. And they need to be at a certain level. They need to be either equal to your baseline or below before you're allowed to go back into a fire. And so that just is a way to keep it safe. We provide rehab services to all fires in the entire island. So any of the stations that have, any of the fire departments that have fires, the rehab crew will bring this. I've never really run rehab, but I have needed it and been a firefighter. Very grateful for this, for the services and the support. There's chairs in there. There's tarps outside where you leave your contaminated firefighter gear and your air packs, and then you can just go sit for a few minutes and get some tender loving care. Every time there's a fire that needs a rehab services, all of this stuff, including these big tables, these big easy up tents, the generators, the heaters, the chairs, all of that, all the medical equipment needs to be loaded up in this ambulance. This is Medic 6. Because we do not have a special rehab vehicle yet. That is something the department's working on right now, getting the funds together and purchasing a vehicle just for rehab so that everyone doesn't have to do so much work hauling this stuff in and out. And so hopefully that'll be soon. This station, Station 6, also serves as headquarters for the Ketchikan Volunteer Rescue Squad. And on this board here is a whole list of the schedule of different trainings. There's spelled wrong, patient assessment, hypothermia, radio communications, what to pack, search patterns, TEMSCA orientation, that is a helicopter, just orientation for safety for new members, refreshers for old members. This here is the, oops, wrong way. This way is the radio communications room. There'll be people manning these computers, manning phones when there's a search going on to keep in touch with the families, to keep in touch with the troopers. This is an extremely important role. I'm always out in the field with my search dogs. I can't even imagine dealing with this. They keep really complicated logs, detailed logs. They are trying to connect everybody involved in the search. And there's a whole battery of extra radios there. Pretty awesome. Let's go look at the communications van. Ketchikan of Search and Rescue. This is Henry, my newest search and rescue trainee. He's a year and a half. Audrey's about mid-level training, but I have paused her training for now because I have this. She's 5. We got a little slowed down and sort of stalled out her training. All right, here's the Ketchikan Volunteer Rescue Squad communications van. And every year we put this in the parade on 4th of July. We walk with it. This is also chock full of radios and all kinds of stuff. Let's see if it's unlocked. Of course it's not. That would be silly. And up on top, there's big light tower, so it can be used out on barely developed roads and trailheads. Gives light for all the people who are responding. There's the lights there in the center. There's also a bunch of antennas up there, so you can hook up phone services. There's a generator in back. It's all got maps, it's got computers, it's got radios. And that's Ketchikan Volunteer Rescue Squad. It's been a fun adventure today, driving around, going to Ward Lake, going to Walmart, just touring Station 6. It's super fun to have you along. I love having all the new subscribers and the new friends. This is really fun. Gives me an excuse to get out and do one of my favorite things, which is going to the fire department, driving the trucks. Anyway, follow for more adventures, more fun. I'm going to do some of the trails around here, do some videos on that. And let's say goodbye to Jackson, who came with us today. There he is. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.